Hello and welcome. Welcome to the stream. We will get started here in a second. We're just going to let people know what's going on. So let's do that. Sweet. So this should be a fun time. A little hanging out. Welcome in. Good to see you. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Cool. So we've done lots of cool stuff last week. We made plenty of progress. What's up, Andres? Let's get that big. We'll get our server booted up. So we're going to be doing Astro work today. We will see how this goes. Look at that dark mode. Look at how good it looks. So I thought about simplifying the overall strategy for how I'm doing light mode, dark mode. We were looking last time and there's some flashing. From what I can tell, the flashing's only really, let's see, motion. We'll turn this guy back on. Yeah, so the majority of the flashing is due to us attempting to fetch the data. So when we go to fetch the data, there's a level of things happening in the background that cause a slight delay in the render. So it's my current thought that when we simplify this down, it should, for the most part, just work. I'm also considering not allowing anyone to choose, but just going in a more dark mode strategy for my website. So there won't really be as much of a light mode option, if that makes sense. But the main thing to deal with now is like the categories, right? So we have development, I have conversations, growth mindset. I don't know yet if all these things will stick around forever to be this way. The most common being dot files. So when you go and look at the posts, they're sort of color coded, right? And I think instead of having custom classes being assigned on a categorical level and then applied to each element, that we just lean more into the new CSS variable strategy that Tailwind 4 is offering. So that's what I'm thinking would be worth my time today in playing with. So let's talk about like how that works. So what is happening? So right now we get a category based off of the entry. And the category returns a theme color. And the theme color right now is assigned as a string. But what's a little bit annoying about that is that the stringed value, let's go to productivity, is literally CSS classes. You know, they're Tailwind variables. So my thought is this isn't a big deal. We can do it this way. So instead of 50, we want like 950. Title would be 100. Description would be 200. And then what did we say? This is now like that, right? So if we go there, see, it looks a lot nicer and it shows up a lot more different. So 950. And that's like not bad, right? So we just do, let's do 300, 400. It should be. Oh, that guy's not going to do it. All right, but if we go here, is this guy going to do it? It's not. Okay. So now the question is, do I want like postcard? That means all of these elements and the page category name. So this is the category, not the category, the page. So this guy's H1. We would put here CLSX. We would put, I guess we got to style that title. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the idea. That seems to work. I don't love these animations though, so I might turn that back off. So the title's like 300. The description might be 100. Yeah. Cool. So that's the idea. We could probably stick to this. Do you guys like the way this looks? Do you not like the way this looks? I'm curious. So what I'll probably do here is on the postcard, we would take it. And this is the category. On post meta, we have the category, the icon, and then the class is dot title. I think that should work. Oh, style. Yeah, so see that this kind of matches up with that. And so now if you go to like posts and you see any Productivity, yep, they show up as this little green. Overall, I probably will do post layout. The general layout will be background neutral 950. Yep. So that seems to be all right. I do know that the speakers, what is it, conversations, we want something similar. So let's do split 950, 800, 250, and then 950. It's like brown. It's not necessarily pretty. Text should be a little bit easier. So we're doing fuchsia, 950, 800. Cool. Tech looks pretty good. What do we call this? Growth mindset is personal development. So that's sky. Cool. So this is like baby steps, right? As long as I feel that the site looks decent, then I think I'll be happy with the starting point here. So this, what is happening? I'm having issues with focus. So that's that. The sign up. This guy. So what we're doing is we're flipping this. Right. So I guess then the main approach would be the next thing to do is dumb down dark mode, light mode, unless I think it's worth keeping. Because if we get light mode, I feel like there's maybe a best of both worlds for me where, there we go, it's back to dark mode. We take the content, post layout, we take the global CSS stuff and we adjust the way that this works. So rather than there being color scheme, and inverting it, the body is going to be black. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, it's happening again. Andres, has this happened to you before? My terminal seems to be losing steam. It's like losing focus. All right, so this guy is being swapped, isn't it? So I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't want a dark and light theme. In our main layout, we're going to do neutral 800. And then the post layout title is probably the default. And the colors that we just designed are the darkest. So why does it show up inverted? bg.files 50. Oh, because dot files isn't a color. Is it a color? Oh, it is. Yeah. Title. Now I got to do this again. 950, 800, 250, and 950. Cool. I wonder if that white on black looks good. Does it feel too much? It does seem like a lot, doesn't it? So if we go full on dark mode, it'll be like text white, background black. So that was my thought. But this specific section in postcard has different background. 950. It's kind of ugly. So now the question is, who has dark sites? Not them. That was too much. TailwindCSS. They have a blog. And it is all dark, isn't it? Part of me thinks we just go dark. So to go dark, we go to the post layout and we go to pros and we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to swap out the values. Okay, so it's going to look weird at first, and then on the global stuff, we're going to swap all this out. With the invert, I think I can do that. Pros invert. How does this work? Invert. There we go. Yeah. I think the background of the blog post will be different because of my framing. I'd want this to be like neutral. I'll have to play around with this. And then the GitHub. Here we go. So does light become dark and dark become light? Sure. And then the background itself is what? Not prose. BG light. Okay, so then GitHub brand colors. We should be getting, it's so bright. This color, so it's 333. So I'm going to go ahead and all right, so that's that. Dark charcoal. I guess this is light. So then GH repo needs to be, the background is dark. The text is light. Like that. Yep. And then the description, we probably should just make all this light. Right? Text light, text light, text light, text light. Is there a description? There is a description. Oh, you know what it is? I bet it's Stage Manager that causes that focus problem. So then this is like, text white, just to give it some distinction. More to be done there. It's not styled perfectly, but we're off to a reasonable start. Oh boy. Footer. BG neutral 800. And then we have our X icon, Twitter icon. This guy's color is bad. I guess we'll get rid of the logo there. I'm still one of those people that I'm on macOS. Yeah, lazy. Does this even have a color? It looks white. Knowing the current person running this company, I'm not assuming it's going to be a very complicated color. Okay, so it's just off-white. Can I do RGB values? Yep, sure can. And then our little hero guide. What is this thing called? We have a slot. So let's go to the index page. I do use AI tools, yeah. I use Copilot mostly with a plugin called Avante. Okay, why am I finding it hard? Okay, the footer has a CTA. That's right. So the CTA is hero. It is hero. So my generic hero is just one hero, and it's the website's thing. All right, so BG neutral 800. Maybe we'll go 900. And we got some border stuff. And then we got some title stuff. And then the leading. Cool. And then this is going to create margin. Come on. So the margin on this, what is this gap? Because I want to try to close the gap with the color. Inspect. Oh, it is going to be some sort of physical spacing. So this div has margin bottom 12. All right. That's this top guy. Let's get rid of that. It probably makes sense to make the footer a little bit darker. We could even go, oh my God, this isn't working for me. Right, and then the bottom has this border. And then the text needs to be a little bit off. Yeah, and we're off to a decent start. So instead of this separation here, part of me wants to create a similar looking element to what we have on the final page, which means we want to perhaps adjust postcard. Do we want to move the meta into the element above? What does that do? Oh, that screws everything up, doesn't it? So we need to keep that element. Why would this create as much trouble as it does when moving it? Okay, so before we try to fix all that, we might as well just say that we are featuring embracing dark mode. So the way that this is positioned, it is a flex column. This guy has lots of margin bottom. And this div down here is needed. Well, maybe we enforce some height. Maybe we move it around. I guess without redesigning the site, we could just leave this as is. So at the end of this guy, we want to add a after element with a and from BG black to let's see if this is going to give me anything useful. Yeah, what an absolutely positioned guy. Height 10. Cool. Now I needed to go from top to bottom. And that's not enough. So we're going to do 20. And then this guy is going to be positioned instead of bottom 0, it's going to be bottom -20. And there may be some z-indexing involved, but I'm going for like a shadow here. I don't know if you guys can see it. From black to text 800. Is that what we want? Yep. So neutral 800, right? Neutral 800. I think I need the it technically is doing what I want, but I don't love the way it looks. But it's a start. Right, chat? It's a place we can grow from there. So the other idea I had, if we didn't do that, is we would move this guy up to here, and then this would have some sort of fixed height, and the margin bottom goes away. So this is like a height of a certain fixed amount. But it really doesn't like it because post meta probably has flexing, description, meta. I'm still trying to figure out why it's so freaked out. Oh, because this is part of the anchor tag. Okay. So the whole, no, that's not right. This whole thing is an anchor tag? It is. So we'd have to move this guy up. No, we wouldn't move it up. We would change its behavior. So this is doing grid stuff. The image has got a transition name. So if we wanted to do this, basically we'd create a div and this thing would be swapped out to here, the image, the title, and then we would not be doing that anymore. It'd be a div. Yep. So that's the idea. It would be relative. The post metadata isn't doing anything crazy. So I'm trying to figure out what the overflow's being caused by. Oh, it's probably the height of this thing. So we need a very different height assigned, like 100. 100's probably too much. It's not crazy though. And then this thing, the paragraph is what holds the description. But it seems to be ending before my meta. And that's wrong. All right. So we're going to move all of this to up there. Yeah. And instead of P3, we'd put a margin on this guy. And if we were to borrow the same pattern, we would do it a little bit differently and we would put it here. So then the post needs less margin and the meta needs its own margin. And then this would be less aggressive. I think this is getting out of hand. So, God, I love a good old reset. If the background is black, then this guy would also be black. And it would be a lot less complicated. Okay. Not the end of the world here. And then a page. Oh, that's too many numbers. And this is going to be prose, invert. And then this is going to physically have margin on it. So instead of adding margin, we add padding. I don't love that. So then that's, instead of 4, it might be 8. All right. So then this whole thing could be prosed. Could this be prosed? No, it doesn't seem to be prosable. Do I cheat and just make it white? I don't like that though. That feels like cheating. So how are these styled? They have CSS variables as well, of course. Color. Where did that come from? It doesn't say. Let's go back to like the input. So the input is all these values. So we change these values. Let's do it. So we know how to do that now. We just go to global, and which side do we want to put it on? This is utility pros. This is theme. Maybe we'll just put it here, and we see where we go from there. Bless me. So instead of all of this, the primary would be a var of theme color neutral 200. And this could be white. $9.50 border would be 800. Like that. Now there was an input color that I didn't assign. Background color UI background. Okay, so this hasn't been assigned yet. What's going on, Dragon World? So none of these want to assign the colors yet. So if I go to the box, all right, no, we're good. It's being assigned page find UI text. Page find UI text. Okay. I don't know if this is going to give me any useful output. Base root. It's not base root. Do they have to be assigned somewhere down here? Probably. Cool. So that should be something. Nope. Oh my God, reduce motion has to go away. It just straight up is not helpful. Or not go away, but it needs to be turned back on. All right, so do I not have neutral? Theme, color, neutral. So we are converting the site that my current website is being changed to use Tailwind CSS version 4. So we're learning more about CSS variables and how they integrate with Astro. Astro is the framework that I use, the web framework. And I'm currently dealing with the problem of these CSS variables here. If we look at the whole area, the text variable is supposed to be assigned via Tailwind page find UI. I look tired. I'm just chill today. I'm a little tired of Tailwind, but here we are, trying to figure it out. All right, so let's just go to page find. See if anyone has asked. So to my knowledge, this base root CSS variable assigning is the thing that overwrites these values. Because up here, we're just assigning theme. But then when we assign base root, this is what ends up being put up against the actual, how do I best describe this? This is what is being assigned as the CSS variables. Yeah, good question, Dragon. So Tailwind is a CSS framework that uses utility classes in order to style your elements through HTML. So you're combining HTML and CSS, but instead of setting, a class name and then writing your classes out directly like flex, call, font, medium, and then assigning color variables, you use these what we call utility classes to style your elements. And so it allows you to stay within your template language. So for me, it might be React, or in this case, it's Astro. And so while I'm inside Astro and I'm doing like postcard, I can use those utility classes to very quickly scaffold my styling without needing to independently write CSS. So it's sort of our building block is written via these modular utility classes. And as you get good at Tailwind, you can build a lot with it. Like as you get good at it, right? If you know CSS, some of this should look familiar. And if you're not familiar with Tailwind, but you are familiar with CSS, there is a few layers, like in the case of font size, they call it text. So you have specific sizing of text that you can use. I like Tailwind a lot. I've been using it for years now. I'm curious, Dragon, are you a web developer? Have you done any front end development before? Curious how experienced you are with this stuff. As I continue to try to figure this out. Oh, dude, crazy. Yeah. So I do develop web development live for my, I was just counting, I've done over 150 hours of live streaming, but this is mostly what I do. I do write stuff in the command line. So I do some open source work as well. But thanks for stopping by. I totally understand if you go do something else or you find this interesting. Feel free to stick around. We're just coding. All right. So why is this not honoring my new CSS variables? I do play games, but video games aren't really a part of my live streaming or my. I know you typically get on Twitch or YouTube and you see people live stream. You're thinking they play video games. I don't really do that much as content here, but I like video games. I have a few consoles, and I mostly just play story games lately. I haven't been doing much online stuff. Okay, so it's definitely the plugin injecting its own values. So I have to decide if this is a Svelte plugin. How do I want to? You like coding, Dragon? That's funny. So you like coding, but you're not a coder. You like the random guy who's coding. Yeah, I guess I'm the random guy. I got a following. There's people that like to see what I do. I've got community members too that we talk about this stuff a lot together, and some of them like to watch me code. But yeah, most of us that code live streaming are a little bit more rare, aren't we? So how do I overwrite the variables? How do I change? Right. Can I put these values? Can I put these values in the search? Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I got you. I just misread it. In here? Maybe. So do we what? Do we read the source code here? Maybe we do. Packages, Astro page find, components page find. Thanks, Dragon. Yeah, man, you too. So these are the UI options. Oh, it's just a record string. So then this becomes a page find thing, right? Do they talk about it here? Ah, yeah, feel free to drop by next time. Always happy to see people. So, styling. We got style sheets, we got add styles, we got reset styles. So that's a highlights customizing. So do I need to explicitly narrow the typing down? Hey, thanks, Dragon. I appreciate you. So perhaps I need to specify my styling on this. You think I missed a definition? Well, it, if I missed a definition, I don't need all of them to be defined. I just want specifically global. I just want these values that are defined to be honored. And what it seems to be doing is it seems to be using some CSS specificity to say, well, the plugin is calling a different value last. And so if I want to overwrite it, it needs to be something more than root. It needs to be like, can I use the utility? Okay, utility is not around anymore because you used to be able to specify it that way. Maybe I do put it in theme, but we had put it there already. And let's just try changing this, right? So the text needs to be like this, and this needs to be something like that. Yeah. So if we read the source code, we'll see that these values are not being changed. Because this is the, is it inline? Theme root host. Page find is being dumped where and when. That's probably why. So shows up there. Then we import it. And then we call the integration. That's the part that's throwing me off. We need search. So like somewhere in this logic, probably in the search component, it is specifically overriding. Now I'm just kind of shooting in the dark. It's overriding the classes by dumping the CSS in somewhere along this path. Where, I'm not entirely sure. That's what I was trying to read the source code to figure out. Oh, here it is. Speaking of, so this thing is being called and overwriting the variables that I'm setting in my global. The main question is, how can I override styling? It doesn't seem like Astro Page Find anyone seems to care to not use it. Yeah, so it's a It's a feature request, but no one's done it yet. So all I really want to do is figure out how is the best way to overwrite these. I think I need to add a theme here. So how do we do that in Tailwind 4? All right. So we have our regular theme. Making sure that I grasp this. So the theme layer, so the utilities thing layer still exists. I could try using that the proper way. But if I wanted to have a specific override, dark mode is assigned like that. We want to go to last week's article, right? So we had the theme from Simon, multi-theme strategy. This is what we wanted. So if you specify on the layer base, you add specificity, then we'll add specificity. That's what I want. So rather than it being here, he's saying that you put it in the base layer, and instead of root, which in fact we might extend below root. Let's see. What they're doing is the search. What is this search? Page find UI. We could say custom page find UI. And this guy could be here. And the scale would be like 2. If we do that, it could conceptually could be bigger. Does it seem bigger? Let's try a different thing. Background. It still doesn't like it. So what should have happened was the parent element, did it not save it? Should have, oh, class name. I'm so dumb. My brain can't switch between the two. So the class doesn't assign anything. So I don't know. This element must not accept class. Hey, much better. So this custom page find UI theme gets put on the global And now we can assign these elements as we were doing before. So theme, color, neutral, 950. No, the text needs to be white, right? So the background is like that. The text is going to be like white. And then the input is not inputs. Border radius scale. Oh, something's not right. UI background. So it's not honoring vars. Got it. So the theme color isn't there. What is this thing? The drawer. Computed background. Color. Goes nowhere. Why does that go nowhere? It's inherited by what? The form? Also pointing to nothing. Interesting. It doesn't seem to care about this UI background. It's like the drawer has its own color. You're back. Well, welcome back. So when I click that, it doesn't go anywhere. You can't see it because my head's in front of it, don't you? Okay, well then there's that. But you know what I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at CSS properties from the browser. So these are definitely being overwritten. The background here is only being applied to that. Okay. So maybe it's tag. What do we say? 800? Nope. Weird. So are they going to give me anything more useful here on the website? They aren't. There's a game called V4. What is this game? I've never heard of this. MMORPG. Yes, that is not what this is. That's funny. The one of my like 2 out of 100 streams. It's the thing in the game. Interesting. Okay. Yep, sorry, I'm not playing that game. You won't find that here. I guess we'll dig into the styling in order to find it. That's so weird. they give you these options, and yet sort of the most useful option here is not assigning a decent color. So if I change this back, text overrides, background does not. Custom page find. Oh, not that. Background. Search input. Result area. It's not even assigning color here. UI background. That's it again. So where is it? What's up, Ian? It's going, man. It's going. We're currently trying to override page find, which is a JavaScript library. I think I've mostly done it, but the documentation is very limiting. It doesn't actually tell you how to change the background of this dropdown, which we kind of need in order for this to make sense. It's like it lets you change the text, but it doesn't let you change the background of the dropdown. I know I'm on mostly the latest version, if not close to the latest version. So I'm not like living in the, the back previous version that doesn't have the support. But why would it not be more useful? See, like there's no values being set here. There's no values being set here. One of these. I do see the like box has a background. Background black. It's my search feature. So you want to go to search and you want to say, what does Josh have to say about Tmux? It's just like a little static search thing. So this searches the website, right? This searches blog posts, content. You can't really do Command F to search an entire website, right? Or Mark Huggins, right? So Mark shows up here. So it's super handy. It's like a one-liner. You just put this in, and you integrate it into a page, and it just works. It does static. It looks up statically. Super helpful. But what's not helpful is this dang drop down is just like not wanting to play nice. And it doesn't seem to be clear as to tell me who is making the background white. See here, UI background color black. We know it's working on the text. It is not working anywhere else. Am I running into a problem with... It's not a dark mode, light mode problem. We've mostly gotten rid of that, Ian. I'm just not going to try to differentiate the two. I'm just going to have like move to a more dark mode focused website instead. But goodness, why is the background white? None of the elements seem to be showing up with a white background. And from what I've been looking at, pretty much all of these background colors are showing up results. Could it be results? No, man, they're just not giving me anything. Well, that's dumb. I could have a light mode search feature for now. But literally the documentation is telling me I can do it, but not doing it. Maybe it's primary? Did I not set primary up? If it's primary, then I'm going to be so thrown off. Why would they call it that? No. Background. So if I do, yeah, that's so dumb. I don't understand. So it's like something about typo on custom page find UI. Oh, maybe. So let's try that again. So search. Well, that's funny. The typo was also in the class. So we were okay there. But you guys are seeing this. The background is in fact black. Is it this section? I bet it's this section. That would be so dumb. This. That's probably it, chat. Dang it. So I had my own class was in conflict. Ian, are you on my website yet? You're not, man. We gotta write something up about you. So that's the idea. So that was a wild goose chase, all because I was looking at the wrong, I was focusing on the wrong thing. All right, so we're gonna do var color black. And the border, 900. Cool. Yeah, man, we got a whole section on the website, conversations. So I've done a few of these. Nick Nisi, Mark, we know Mark. Carlos, he works at Charm now. Yeah, they're just YouTube interviews. So this is Carlos. He works at Charm and he built Go Releaser. He's the guy behind Go Releaser. So here's an interview with him about that. Well, this is an interview about his workflow. This was a fun one. So, I mean, this feels pretty good. I'm like content with the progress of all this. It's not perfect, but it's definitely working. And the blog posts look all right. Looks like my RSS feeder might need a little fix there. So if we do CTA, RSS needs what? Text white. And then the icon needs its own text RSS dark. There we go. And we should probably make this strong string. Ah, my fingers. Cool. Not there. Not there. P2. All right, cool. So again, probably more to be desired, but I think as I mess around with this, I can individually put some focus on design. I do have Astro LSP. Astro Language Server, yep. What I've noticed is, no, formatting's working there. Formatting doesn't seem to be working on the HTML. I think it's because I'm using Biome, and Biome is crediting partial support for Astro. Well, the one thing I don't think is set up properly is the Tailwind language server. I need to figure out how to inject the Tailwind server into this specific project. I don't know yet if it can support it. I don't know. Has anyone else tried? I'm sure the VS Code Astro extension is going to work pretty good. But yeah, it seems like every time I do something on my personal project, I want to try something new, which includes Biome, which I really like Biome. If you've heard of it, they claim a 35 time performance gain on top of Prettier. And they do ESLinting type rules, so you can drop both ESLint and Prettier for this project. But I do have Tailwind. Oh, I don't have. That's interesting. I don't have a traditional Tailwind configuration. So it's like, could there be an issue where it doesn't detect language support because there's no more Tailwind config file? I need to ask Elijah. He did make the video on lazy vim Tailwind CSS, so he's a buddy of mine. He might reach out if I ask him. I hadn't thought about that. That's really funny, Ian. I hadn't thought about Tailwind LSP doesn't work because there's no config file. Can I just override? So this Tailwind's tools is another option. Go away, sobering screenwriter. Interesting. So these guys have it figured out. So if I go to my NeoVim config LSP, I do want to explicitly set this kind of thing. So CSS, Astro. Oh, duplicate. Oh, I do already have it, don't I? Astro. Can I just add Astro to that? Let's reset that hunk. Okay. We could try that. Hey. So I just had to tell my LSP that Astro was a configurable thing. And do my colors work? White. Yep. So my question is, do you have color highlighting working with your configuration file? Because right now I have super basic color highlighting and it doesn't support my more complex stuff. Which would be like category? It would be interesting to get it working here as well. So this is MDX. I don't think it's going to recognize that this is a class because, yeah, I'm not expecting something like that to actually work. Yeah. Which one do I have right now? In Vim Colorizer. So Tailwind, you just have to set to true. Update Tailwind's names from LSP results. Interesting. So if I go to like, I don't know, where do I want to go? Post CTA. I got background neutral 900. It's going to give me the variable, but there's probably a piece of this that I don't have set up correctly. What have you done, sir? Is this going to be under colorizer or comp? You don't have comp as an obvious file, do you? Completion under lazy dev UI, LSP. Where do you actually set it up? Completions. Yeah, I don't know if it would yet either, Andres. That's the real question, huh? And Vim highlight colors. What is this one? I don't think I have this set up properly. Ooh. I think I was doing mini highlight maybe. So you currently have this one. LSP support. So it can read from the LSP. The question is, does it read CSS variables? Some of them tend to not do a very good job at that. Cool. So this is your editor settings. But from what I remember, you also have to call it under completions, right? Formatting, format. So do you have to assign this as a dependency? You are not. Do I need to lazy load or not lazy load this? That would be the real question, huh? Let's try the hero. Hey, look at that. Slate 900. So neutral is my color. Neutral doesn't work. Is that because I need the LSP to be the thing that accepts the colors? And that's something that did you do this? You have sorting. Because I know slate can be read from the defaults. And technically I don't want this to be slate. But it's okay for now. When we highlight, we offer the formatting. Comp formatting, you can add color item. I do want to do this. I want to actually style comp one day. Didn't think I'd do it tonight. Virtual symbol, that's kind of cool. Oh, foreground is fun. Virtual text is also kind of fun. All right, and then all right. Well, we're off to a reasonable start. So BG, amber, blue, cayenne. So dot files. So see how dot files, it can't read it. So is this where was the phrasing around LSP specific stuff? This guy needs to be swapped out for this guy, right? So that's on formatting. We've set it up. We've set formatting. Got it. So that's set to true. This we did override already. No, we didn't set that up. So ops. For usage true. I don't know if I need to overwrite that. The color's kind of there. One color's there. Interesting. So I do this for work. We have variables here. So I'm actually kind of curious. This is something simple that I can show. Neutral. So neutral can be red, and this is an old project. Neutral, that one works too. Awesome. So this one works, but this is Tailwind 3. There's a level of indirection that it's just not able to see. And look, neutral. These colors are being rendered. And then I have like primary works. Awesome. Okay, well, that's good to know that this works well. And I kind of want the symbols. What did he do with symbols? Highlight. All right. Virtual is interesting. How does virtual work? It just gives you a dot. It just gives you a dot. I kind of want to do this kind of formatting. Okay. So that's that. If I restart and I want to, oh no, LSP kind. Is that something? What is LSP kind? Pictograms for completion. Yeah, this is what I want. We're going to go down the NeoVim rabbit hole today. So I think I do want this. So then LSP kind integrates with what? LSP kind. I think we just want to make it a dependency on comp. Okay. And then that's probably it. Cool. So let's see what that looks like. Ah, cool. So it'll work like pink would work. Yeah, pink would work. Cool. I like it. Is my background color? Yeah, transparent. That's good. All right. Well, then let's do some cleanup. So this is let's see how this performs. So we'll let this build. We've now updated this a bit. Exciting. So, is there anything else I should know about with NeoVim or Comp or anything? Have any of you guys messed with Blink yet? Anyone who's hanging out with me still? I was thinking of allowing Blink and Comp to be like toggled, where if I hit a binding, it like switches from one to the other, like automatically. It should be pretty easy with some sort of like global Lua variable, because I've seen plenty of people do that. Oh, hey, Woo Balloons. Yay. It's working. I think I might merge this as is, although we were talking about the home page. I might need to drop these image grid. You're using Blink instead. Does it feel noticeably faster, Andres? Are you like, wow, this is so much better? Or is it sort of negligible? Or is it, can you tell some days more than others? I'm just curious. All right. One moment. Cool. I mean, this is good enough. Yep. So I have a lot more design work that I want to do. But at this point, got to do baby steps. I think I've overly complicated some of the CSS. You don't notice much of a difference. I feel like the long-term strategy there is attempting to simplify the code base. From what I heard, Comp is really complicated. And so Blink is meant to be not only faster, but like a refresh in the architecture and the coding required. So the longevity of the project potentially is going to be better. Okay, so what I am noticing is this RSS icon is too dark. So if we go here and we look at the bottom here, what I'll probably do is the RSS icon current color. Instead of dark, we're going to go light. So that should fix it there and there. And then what we'll do in the CTA is that we'll swap these back. So this guy will be dark RSS. So it will be, the background will be dark and the text will be light. Yeah. And then the header, while we're here, I don't want so many of these showing. So like YouTube, Discord, Twitter can go, I guess. Something like that. You have breaking changes. Oh boy. Yeah, the breaking changes are what gets in the way, I think, of this working for me, right? Like making the choice to switch over. So it is what it is, but we're getting there. I would like to play a little music. Cool. So this guy is too much. I could just thinking of just doing this. We probably should inspect border radius should probably go away. Rounded. All right. Capture node screenshot. All right. So then that should have given me something interesting. And if we put this in my project, which I'm doing a little bit behind the scenes here, so you don't see my personal files. Let's see, where do I want to go? I want C, Josh Medeski. Can I just drop it in public? I think I can just drop it in public. All right. So now instead of doing this fancy grid in the hero, not the hero, what did we call this? Image grid. So image grid is going to be swapped out for static image grid. And static image grid is not going to do all this. It's going to have a background. Now we're going to do what? We're going to do grid.png. And then all this goes away. The height is assigned with aspect video. So this would be interesting to mess with, but all this goes away. Wrapper and about me. So then on the index, we do static. Can I import it? So I do have LSP, Ian. So if you saw, I was able to import. All right, so then that's that. And then the actual image about me is a /. So the background probably needs to be like covered. Background image Did I call that grid.png? I did. Cover. And then on my about me, we need this to be like, I don't know, 300. What's this say? Unknown property name. All right. Did I spell background wrong? I sure did. All right, cool. So then the like width and height need to be assigned via what? Or am I just going to have a big image? It is what it is. I'm going to redesign this anyway. I just need a cheaper, faster solution. So we're going to feature design updates. We're just going to be cheap about this. Adjust RSS icon, drop some social images, social icons on header, make grid static. And then, sure. This guy should have what? Not deployed. Do we have a coding error? It works now. And I might as well work on this now. So page find. I want to ignore Oh, that's awesome. This was a lot easier than I thought. So what we're going to do is the post layout. We're going to have the body needs to go on the whole thing, right? So that's the URL. That's the article. Then we're going to find based off of that. Great. And then the page. Is page what I need to not do? No, page is what I want to do. Main body. Cool. I don't remember if this feature works on the development server. Let's find out. Let's go. So this is great because I was really annoyed at, you go to my website now and you search for Mark Huggins. You got conversations, posts, and videos. That isn't the content. So why would you get 4 results? So the same thing should be done for Tmux. Dolev's workflow, managing sessions, smart sessions with this. These are reasonable results. Because this is everywhere I've talked about Tmux. Yeah, so this is way better. And then we're going to feature improve page find. What is this? Page find crawling. Awesome. That was good to know. That was way easier than I thought it would be. I thought I was going to have to like specifically blacklist some certain things. So if this works, then I'll probably just merge it and everybody's going to get a dark mode version, which feels on brand for me as a developer doing terminal based stuff mostly. And that's right around 2 hours on stream. So I might call it a day here and go spend some time with my partner. That's what the dogs were about as she came home. Cool. So I could ignore like stars. That would probably be something that's not needed. But I saw something the other day. I really liked making an improvement to some of the designs of my site, which I will definitely share soon. Some ideas I have. I must have lost it. Okay, well, I'll find it again, but cool. I can, for now, I feel pretty comfortable deploying this as long as it comes through successfully. Build in progress. And then I need to make sure that caching works because I can speed up deployment by a little bit, actually, potentially significantly. Failed. Build command. I think I have to replace my key, although I thought I did. Maybe I didn't replace it yet. Okay. Well, I am not going to do that here on stream because that's sensitive, of course, deployment keys. But this was super fun. I was a little frustrated there for a little while, but I'm starting to grasp how these overwrites work, how CSS variables work with the theming layer on Tailwind 4. I have a couple paths forward for more customizable and complex theming options if I want certain elements or certain pages to have a different flair. I know now the path forward for that. But overall, I'm going to call this done. Tailwind 4 is now integrated into my system and more to come, but that was the web dev for the last couple weeks. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I think we'll do some sort of Golang work again. We'll probably do some session development. And whoever's here that isn't a part of my community, do head to my website and feel free to join the Discord community. We talk about browsers and NeoVim and Tmux and programming and all sorts of stuff like that. So if you want to nerd out with us, feel free to join the conversation there. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks.